Hello and welcome to Press TV's extensive coverage of the revolutions in the making and the region. This half hour we'll be looking at the latest in Bahrain, where of course the situation continues to be serious, even though according to the Bahraini government emergency measures have been lifted. The state of emergency has been lifted, but nothing has really changed as people are continuing to be put on trial with the accusation that they're saying that they have been tortured, forced confessions. People still have lost their jobs, have lost their positions at universities, at schools. People are missing. Very tough situation still taking place in Bahrain. And as you can see, the footage that we're showing right now, we know that the Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad Khalifa was actually in Washington meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, as well as President Obama. And basically, it seems that the U.S. is not really coming down hard on the Bahraini regime. They said, according to President Obama, that the Crown Prince should hold accountable those responsible for human rights abuses. But who to hold accountable and how? And to be fair to the opposition, there was no particular plan that had been given. Anyway, we're going to switch over to Manama, where we have the president of the Bahrain Center for Human Rights, Mr. Nabeel Rajab. Mr. Rajab, thank you for being with us as always. We appreciate it. Joining us via Skype. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, Mr. Rajab, if you can fill us in on the latest of what's going on in Bahrain, we really appreciate it.
Well, I mean, the only positive news that we have today is that the decision was taken by Formula One not to hold their racing in October, coming October. And this comes out of pressure that was created by many human rights groups against the Formula One, as government were trying to show situation back to normal after committing all their crimes against humanity here, and the Formula One have taken a decision to go ahead with the Formula One. But lately, in the past few hours, the newly decision was made after pressure made that by human rights organization, by many people. Around 500,000 people have signed a petition to them to stop Formula One coming in October. And I think that shows the power of people, that shows the power of human rights defenders around the world, that shows the power of people, lovers of democracy around the world. I appreciate all their help and support at this time. And I'm happy to hear that piece of news. And I think that will add pressure to our government, as many political pressure from here and there, that so that they stop their crimes against humanity. On the ground, as you know, the military trial has been continuing. More and more people being brought. Today, around 45 people trial has started. It is 4 different cases I'm not aware of as of this moment, but more people being brought to military trial. Tomorrow there will be more people will be brought also to a military trial. Every day we see new groups of people are being brought to military trial. Although government talked about lifting martial law, but in reality we've seen the military trial has been going on, not only as a continuation to a formal cases, but the new cases are being brought to military trial. And a lot of places were attacked today also, as people were starting to protest, calling for their detainees to be out. They were attacked in several places. As you know, the arrest of people are being continuing. Military trial for women and girls, school girls, are being continuing. More girls, more women are to be brought before military trial in coming days also. Many trials have started, and the families of those detainees are not aware of it. They just come to know that their loved one being taken to military court and with no lawyers.
Now, Mr. Rajab, when they are taken to court, when they do have the trial, because you said the families usually do not know, is there anyone in attendance from the family or a lawyer, or absolutely they have no idea when their loved ones are going to trial?
Well, most of the people in detention now. We're talking about more than 1,000 people. Nobody knows why they have been in detention. Nobody knows the reason for being detained, so that they can prepare their lawyer or they prepare for their cases. Even those people who were told about the cases and about the start of their case, they come to know only 8 hours, 12 hours before the trial starts. So this is not enough time to prepare for such a huge and complicated cases. But anyway, they adjourned most of the cases till they appoint a lawyer. Even you know that most of the lawyers are volunteer in those cases. But now, because of the huge number of people being brought to military trial, we were not able even to cope with the situation, with the number of these detainees. As each lawyers have many, many cases, and those cases are very complicated, very, very long, and and you know they adjourn case for 2 days and 3 days. It's not enough time for one lawyer to take 30 and 40 cases or 20 cases, and which is speeding so fast. You know, all this trial does not meet an international standards for fair trial in terms of representation, in terms of access to their family, access to lawyer, independency, transparency. Human rights groups like us were not allowed to get inside. Lawyers are not allowed to discuss the cases in the media, to create a debate about the legitimacy of the trial, legitimacy of the cases, about the transparency.
Okay, Mr. Rajab, stay with me, please, Mr. Rajab. I want to switch over to our other guests and then come back to you, if possible, the UK, Ms. Sharifa Alhashmi, and get her take on this. Ms. Hashmi, what's your take on this situation at this point in time? Now, Washington has invited the Crown Prince there and have seen him. What does that say to you as a Bahraini activist? Do you think it's a thumbs up for him, or do you think that perhaps they're trying to pressure him? How do you see it? And welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me. Well, if they are trying to pressure him, they're not doing a good enough job, or they're not doing exerting enough pressure. We have seen, as was said before me, lip service paid to the idea of Bahrain being in turmoil, but no actual action has taken place. I believe this isn't just an American lack of action. It's also a Saudi Arabian influence, which is very clear with the sending of the Peninsula Shield into Bahrain. So America has many interests in Bahrain, be they economic, political, or regional. And the message that we're getting right now is, while they are willing to condemn, they're not actually willing to take any action whatsoever. We find this disappointing and quite stark in contrast to the situation somewhere else in the Middle East, like in Libya, for example.
Now, Ms. Hashmi, I want to look at the another aspect of what is going on in Bahrain as more and more females are being detained, are being locked up, are being charged in military courts. It seems like this taboo in Muslim countries in general and in Bahrain in the past, a certain amount of respect for females have totally been broken. How do you see it?
It has absolutely been broken. In fact, several members of my family have been in prison, several female and male members. There is no longer a lack of, there's no longer sort of an interest in whether someone is male, female, child, an adult. It doesn't really matter. There is no discrimination at this point, which is a very scary thing. Women are being trialed. Women, often their families have no idea where they are, where have they been taken, how long for, and on what accounts they've been held. They'll be taken, and the family may receive a phone call after a few days telling them that, in fact, they are in prison. There is no fairness in this whatsoever, and there is no transparency. So how can we help them if we don't know where they are and how they're doing?
Okay, going back to Manama, Mr. Rajab. Now, Mr. Rajab, you being the president of the Bahrain Center for Human Rights, and I'm sure that you continue to try to get information about those who are being detained. I would like to know an official letter, what level, what are you told? What is your organization told when you're trying to get information about those detained? Are those being charged? On what charges are they being held? What type of response do they give you?
Well, first of all, I have to, mention the American position, since you have brought this up with my colleagues in the program. I think the statement made by the President Obama last night, although it is not satisfying, but it is a positive one, especially asking the Crown Prince that to bring these people to trial who committed the crimes against humanity. I think this is a positive one. I've just read in the foreign policy in the past 1 hour, and a piece was written where they say the King of Bahrain was blocked of going to the United States because the United States wanted to show anger that towards his policy, and he was supposed to go to graduate one of his children. I think all this position lately it has improved, although that we've seen the United States government have not done what they're supposed to do as an ally of Bahrain government, as they have an American presence here. But in the past maybe a few weeks, the statement we've been seeing, it's slightly positive. So we should encourage that. We should push for more statements of criticism. Especially, we don't ask for any kind of military intervention as in Libya, and we just need the political, economical pressure, as our colleagues in other organizations have done with Formula One. Now, in regard to your question about in the ground, as you know, military trial is still going on. People are being brought on a daily basis. Arrests is going on. Protests being attacked. Religious marches being attacked for the first time. Although these religious marches been going on for the past hundreds of years in Bahrain, and nobody has touched that through the history. It's the first time we see more than 40 different marches were attacked in Bahrain. People being tortured. Yesterday, doctors talked to their family how they've been humiliated, how they were electrocuted, and how they were sexually harassed and tortured, how they were forced to be in a video camera or in a TV camera saying things they have not done, like they've done crimes, they've done things. I mean, we've seen also on Bahrain TV on a daily basis crimes, programs that inciting hatred towards the Shias, trying to show the doctors' talks in TV where we know they've been forced to do that in jail, that they're saying they've done crime, they've been supported by this or that, and they go, nothing on the ground show Bahrain government is serious. Although we see statement released by Crown Prince, by some political elite here to the international media regard of reform or regard of dialogue or regard of lifting the emergency law, but any ground, Bahraini people don't see that. It is all a message for the international community than anything to do with inside. Bahrain government is not serious. Bahrain government's main object now is just how to silence the international criticism, how to stop the international human rights groups and criticizing Bahrain more than doing any change on the ground, more than improving the human rights situation on the ground or introducing any kind of political and social reform.
Okay.
We don't see any indication that Bahrain government is serious as of this moment.
All right.